Hey everybody, Super Squee here for some more big list time. Gonna try to fly through this one a little bit faster, if at all possible. Watch me fail miserably. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of Love Hate Tragedy. It feels really lackluster for a follow-up of Infest. I only like one song off the album, She Loves Me Not, and I adore the album art, as cheesy as it seems. Don't really have anything else to say about this album. I basically said all I needed to. I do love this album art. I think it's goofy as shit, but it's cute. I don't love how bright the fucking red is. Like, I think it can easily hurt your face. And I had to go through several different images trying to find one that wasn't like, I don't know what the right word is. Saturated, or just the brightness is like fucking insane. This is the follow-up from Infest that I personally wanted. The album is even better than I remember, like I am enjoying it much more than I did when I was younger. Recently I had a bad day, and by all accounts it really wasn't a bad day. Had lunch with my best friend and some of the people closest to them, who I don't despise, and I even saw Papa Roach live, and they were amazing, but I had some personal shit swirling in my head all day, and it curdled the bulk of the experience. At the last moments of the concert, when I had walked away and had my headphones in, my mother said something to me that kind of just punched me back into the now and made me calm down. At that moment, I took my headphones off, teary-eyed, and walked back towards the stage. They played Scars. I swear it was the only song the audience seemed to know every word to, and we all sang it, and I cried. The song means way more to 24-year-old me than it did to 10-year-old me, that's for sure. Which is funny, that was like 2 years ago. That seems insane. Still like the music off this album. Still like the song Scars. I think I've also heard a Spanish version of that song now, which is pretty enjoyable. Pretty good album. This is the album I always thought was the second album, honestly. Like, I feel like a lot of times when you listen to music, you end up, if you're not like super hardcore into listening to music, and paying attention to every song that comes off of like each and every album, then you don't realize what songs came from where, and it doesn't help that you get a lot of songs that are just on EPs or that are singles, and you don't realize they're singles, and then even if they are singles, they get put on an album later. So sometimes you can have major kerfuffles trying to figure out like where the fuck music is placed in a timeline for a band. Okay, well, did I do Deadpool 2 already? For some reason, it doesn't seem to be like this damn thing wants to pop it up. Okay, well, whether I've done Deadpool 2 already or not, or for some reason it's like kerfuffled inside here. I thought it was a really great movie. I love that there was a bait and switch that like fucked everybody by thinking that their cool favorite characters were going to be in it, and then just kind of got fucking murderfied. Honestly, I enjoyed it more than the first one. I felt like the first one was a good, like, fun romp, and the second one was, like, I don't know, man. It felt like more, it was like you got a better story or something. If you happen to hear my nephew screaming in the background, he's taking a bath and doesn't sound very happy for some reason. I think this is a weird comparison thing that I do a lot, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with quality or anything, though it can. But an analogy that I feel like I use too much is the Deadpool 1 is like Kingdom Hearts 1, and Deadpool 2 is like Kingdom Hearts 2. And I don't use that specifically to do with Deadpool, just I use it a lot for different shit. And it's like, it's still what you like, but they add a bunch of shit on top of it that kind of like makes it feel a little bit different. Like, to me, Deadpool 1 feels older, but Deadpool 2 feels newer, and I feel like Kingdom Hearts 2 still feels like a newer game and is fun to play now. And though I enjoy Kingdom Hearts 1, I feel like it's a little more archaic. And maybe that has to also do with the fact that Deadpool 1, I don't know how much of it was written like way before and then just that script got kept, or if they just kept some of the stuff like the scene on the turnpike and then changed the rest of it. I kind of spaced that I loved Paramour Session so much, mostly for its heavier sound. The bonus track is an amazing Spanish version of Scars, and it includes a track written by Jacoby's late step-grandfather, for whom the band is named. My top three for this one are Crash, My Heart is a Fist, and I don't know how to pronounce this, Uh, Heridas? Heridas. If you were Spanish of any descent or Mexican and I butchered that, I apologize. But apparently that means scars in Spanish. I'm assuming I looked that up, because I wouldn't have just known that. Metamorphosis bounces around a bit in my opinion, but I don't dislike it, just not all of the album is what I want personally. It's something I'd enjoy as background sound if I was in a hard rock mood, but not an album I could tell you more than 3 songs I liked. Speaking of which, my 3 for this one are Hollywood Horror, I Almost Told You That I Loved You, and Into the Light. Which, funny enough, I thought that Hollywood Horror was part of Paramour Sessions. Funny enough, I didn't realize it was a whole nother album, so that goes back to that not realizing what songs are on what album half the time. I started The Connection thinking this was going to be a bland album, and I wouldn't say it was, but I wouldn't call it anything special either. I still love Jacoby's voice, and I kind of like the more digital sound added in with the heavy guitar and drums. I wouldn't have expected this coming from Papa Roach. Kind of makes me think of mid-2000s Good Charlotte, which isn't a good thing. This is the start of my journey into the unknown with their music, and albums I didn't know existed and haven't listened to. The final track of the deluxe edition I absolutely love though, Ninth Life. I've had enough Papa Roach for the night, and I am drunk, and ready for leftover lasagna. Sounds like I had some good times that day. Just double checking something here. Another movie I'd seen once and I really enjoyed. I'm glad it's still as enjoyable as I remember. I love the cast and feel they play their roles really well. I'm biased to love Ryan Reynolds and literally anything, and the absolute best part of this movie is the soundtrack. Well, that and Frigo getting what's coming to him in the end. Fuck that little shit. That nut busting little shit. Holy fuck, F.E.A.R just ramps up all the way to the end. I fucking love this album. Song after song, I was like, okay, is this going to be the shit one? But the shit one never came. It was really hard to just pick 3 songs that I like the most. The album's sound makes me drool. And then I made like a heart emoji. Top 3 are as follows. Love Me Till It Hurts, Warriors, and Hope for the Hopeless. If F.E.A.R is the exercise, then Crooked Teeth is the rest period, where you're filled with adrenaline and still pumped, but you take a deep breath. It feels like a natural progression, and I love it. I also love the alternate album art, which I show here. The normal album art, by the way, it looks like a kid with like fucked up crooked teeth, and like where his eyes are, it looks like someone like scratched out the art with like a safety pin or something. I prefer this art. I have nothing bad to say. I'm going to be honest. I never knew they were still making music, and as of now, this is their last album. I'm looking forward to the next album. 6-year-old me, whose favorite band was Papa Roach, would have lost his shit to the amazing music they kept pumping out. Top 3 are as it follows. Periscope, Sunrise Trailer Park, and Traumatic. If I could get the damn thing. I really don't like Cameron Diaz. That said, though I do love this movie for its age and the fact that it's a CGI animated film, it still looks really good, especially the faces Shrek makes, and the music's nice. Voice actors are great to boot, and Jesus, I didn't realize how well I know the movie. Every single line, I felt deja vu like I watched it every day of my life. Yeah, so I love this movie. Not a huge fan of Cameron Diaz. I honestly can't tell you why. I didn't think she was bad in this movie. I just love this movie all the way around. I like its sequels. I only haven't seen the last one. And I am tentative and mildly excited about the reboot that's apparently happening. Also, if you ever want to see a really weird like fan-made mashup that's damn near like shot for shot and like written script for script of this, go watch Shrek Retold on YouTube. It is absolutely hilarious. It has amazing like collaborations between so many fucking people, and it has amazing music more than anything, like just great music. The other day I had an amazing day with my parents. Me and my dad, who used to waste $5 or so just to beat Area 51 back at CC's Pizza, played through the entirety of Maximum Force. the, in my opinion, not as good, but still very fun spiritual arcade sequel to Area 51. I had a blast, and it was funny that when either of us died, we'd quickly try to slap the continue button for the other one and almost smacked each other several times. So I had great memories of playing this back at like the CC's Pizza in the town near us, because it was the only place that really had a bunch of restaurants and shit. Because I'm not really in the boonies anymore, but I'm kind of like out in the country a little bit, like just it's small town area. But there was always like that dual Area 51 Maximum Force arcade cabinet, and I treated my parents to the arcade because they love old school like arcade games, and we have an arcade around the corner. I think I've talked about in here before that has like pinball and all kinds of other shit. And me and my dad started playing this one, and it was a blast. It was nostalgia from like my childhood and shit, and it was just really fun getting to do something with him. But that'll be it for this one. Thank you for watching, everybody, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye bye.